my name is Mandy Hurt, and I'm the lead recruiting coordinator here at MCC. So I am in recruiting, but I'm under the umbrella of student services. So I often tell students a lot of times, like, I'm one of the first people that you may talk to when trying to find out more information about MCC. Anybody has any questions or needs anything, please always tell everybody, please reach out to me. I'll love to help you. I may not know the answer to the question, but I can definitely find somebody to answer, get the answer for you.
Absolutely. You're going to be the one with all of the knowledge for today. So I'm happy that you're here.
Okay.
And so since you're kind of in that space and just kind of talking about recruiting and students that are interested in attending MCC, let's talk about the admissions application a little bit.
Okay.
When does that typically open for y'all, and how can students apply?
Okay, so usually it's open a year out. So they have, it should be open and they are for them. Students can apply two different ways. They can apply online, which to me is the easiest and the quickest. So if you go to meridiancc.edu, you can do /apply. Or me, I'm one of those people that I Google and sit in Meridian Community College. And once our main page comes up, top right-hand corner, it says apply that way. So you can apply through our webpage, or if you happen to be on campus, you can apply. We have a paper application as well, or if somebody needs us to mail it to them. I've had somebody ask for that before. We don't mind. We'll mail you one if you need it. But that's the two ways that you can apply to come to MCC. But we are an open enrollment institution, so we don't have a certain GPA or anything for students that have to make to be able to come to MCC for that. There may be for a certain program, but generally to take classes, no, we don't have a certain GPA.
Great. And so with that, are there other items that are needed though for students to complete along with the application in order to be, admitted?
Right. So we like to have a couple things. So of course your admissions application. And then we like to have some sort of like an ACT score on file. I know a lot of times students are like, well, I want to take it again. That's fine. But we just need to have something on file. And then a current high school transcript will get you provisionally admitted into school here. And what I mean by provisionally admitted, meaning, let's say a lot of our seniors have already probably applied to come to MCC. They've already taken the ACT, so they have we have it on file, and most probably our students have already sent like a current high school transcript by their counselor. And so come April, it's something new that we are doing now. Students can actually get their class schedule, register for classes in April. So before they even graduate high school, they can actually know what they're taking in the fall here at MCC. So that's a really big step that we've taken this past year for students. So we give you about a semester. So we understand counselors need a little time to get your final high school transcript into us, that sort of thing. So they have time, but typically we need your admissions application. We need an ACT, or if you hadn't taken the ACT, we have the AccuPlacer, which is MCC's version of the ACT. And you can just email admissions and we can get you set up if you need to take the AccuPlacer. And then it's actually free the first time. So you can just take it that way. Any official transcripts too. So like if you've gone to a different community college or something like that, we just need those official transcripts as well. And then of course your final high school transcript. So but provisionally admitted, we'll give you a semester, and then we need to have those documents on file, everything.
Perfect. Okay, great. Now with, talking about the ACT, is there a certain ACT or GPA that ensures an academic scholarship for students?
Okay, so if you're wanting to do like honors college, you have to have a 24 on the ACT, and that is a composite number. And they actually like to have those scores by July 1. So you'd be able to take it in June, again, if you're trying to get a higher score, but for the honors college, for that sort of thing, you have to have a 24. So that's really the only thing that I know, that you would have to have a certain ACT for an academic with scholarship with that. So other things like programs, they have a minimum for you to be considered for the program, but of course they always try and work with students on that.
When it comes to scholarships, maybe for incoming freshmen, are there academic-based scholarships that students can receive that are a certain ACT or GPA, or does that look different?
I know that we have, with our foundation, we have over 200 foundation scholarships that we give out. Now, depending, I don't actually give those out in our financial aid, somebody in the financial aid does. So there may be something with a certain GPA that they may give out a certain scholarship with that. But generally, honors college is one of our bigger things to be able to get into that with the ACT of a 24.
Awesome. Now with that, or even with the admissions process, do y'all look at ACT Super Score, or is it highest composite that's used?
So for MCC in general, we do take a super score. But I know, like, if you make a lower on a certain point on the ACT, that usually like a 17 on a certain area, then you may have to be considered for if you need an intermediate class, that sort of thing. But we're an open enrollment institution, and so, but we do take super scores. So we do.
Great. Okay. And for, and this, I guess, could be for, scholarship consideration or, honors college, like you mentioned, is there a last ACT date, or is that students have to take, or does that kind of roll with open enrollment as well?
So if you're trying to, for honors college, it's July 1, but if you're trying just to up your score, that sort of thing, they actually just ask you to let them know. Say, hey, you have my ACT on file. I've taken it again. This is what it is. The score should be coming to you, and they can go in and change it later when they receive it. So, but that's really just letting them know. Yes, that you have something else.
Okay. And for, I know that you mentioned sort of like foundation scholarships, we've talked about honors college. Is there a separate sort of scholarship application? And if so, I know that you said that sort of open enrollment, is there sort of a deadline other than the honors college one that we talked about?
Yes. So our Lauderdale County students, so students that live in Lauderdale County, so it doesn't matter if they go to a private, public school, or they're homeschooled, as long as they live and have a Lauderdale County address, they are eligible for tuition guarantee. And that is a scholarship application that we have. And really, that application is, I've heard people say, well, it's free. Well, somebody had to pay for that, and it's usually people in the community, or different faculty, staff, that sort of thing, that give to the foundation and that sort of thing, that want to would like to I'm trying to think of it, invest into students in Lauderdale County, that sort of thing. So we have tuition guarantee. Now, your tuition guarantee is also your scholarship form. So for the 200, we have over 200 foundation scholarships, it's just one application. So that student would apply for tuition guarantee, and it would also they would be considered for the 200 scholarships that we have. I always tell students two things. One, think about, before you start filling out that application, put everything that you're involved in. The more information, the better. I know that we have sometimes certain people give on a scholarship that want to give to a student that graduates either from a certain high school that's going into a certain degree program. So the more information that you put on those scholarship applications, the better. And then, so technically, the tuition guarantee application is not due until September 15th. Okay. But if you want to be in the running and want to apply for those 200 foundation scholarships we have, that is due by April 1. So I tell students, go ahead and just do your tuition guarantee and try and be considered for those foundation scholarships and get it in by April 1. Now, for students that do not live in Lauderdale County, we actually have set aside a general scholarship for them. And that is, you can actually find it through our webpage, financial aid, and then scholarships, and scroll down, it's on there. So they have that, and I believe that is like probably September 15th with that. So they can just fill it out, and it's electronic and it goes right to them. But there are scholarships set aside for students that do not live in Lauderdale County. So we have those two as well.
Great. That's a lot of such good information towards scholarships, and thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And also kind of in another sector of financial aid, you know, the Fafsa is something that our students, you know, rely heavily on as well.
Yes.
Is the Fafsa a requirement for all admitted students?
Yes. So we need them to do their FAFSA. And usually, like with students here locally, we usually go out to the classrooms, and our financial aid usually helps them as well. And we have actually partnered with y'all before on trying to help students with FAFSA. But yes, so we need students to fill that out along with like the MTAG and that sort of thing. That's a federal thing, and so they need to apply for that. Usually, they like to have students have that completed by the time school starts, just to have that done and out of the way.
So is that something that is not only required for, like, you know, admissions purposes, but also for scholarships? And would you say there's a priority date, or just kind of before school starts?
I've always been told before school starts, but especially like if you want to be considered maybe like for the Pell Grant or for work study, like you have to fill out that FAFSA form. So whether, you know, you feel like you need to, you just need to, I tell students all the time, just fill out the FAFSA, just do it. If you need help, you can come up here, we can help you. The only heads up I try and tell students is that you need to remember your login information, and two, you're going to need, if you're going to be a dependent, so if your mom and dad like claimed you on tax, that sort of thing, you're going to need to have their income information. And so maybe we get you started and you finish it at home with mom and dad, or you can come up here with their information and we can help you. But you definitely need to fill it out.
Now, another application that I feel like students kind of get more excited about, the housing application.
Yes.
When does that typically open for y'all? And is there a deadline for that?
Okay, so it usually opens around in March. And so it's on a kind of first come, first serve basis. So we have Elliott Hall for guys, which is our newest one. And then we have Thornton for guys as well. And that's kind of like a dorm setup. And then we have Meridian College Crossing for the ladies. And those are apartment style. So it's a 2-bedroom apartment, 4 girls to apartment, two girls to a room, that sort of thing. And theirs is more of an apartment setup with a full kitchen and that sort of thing. So especially if you want to, you know, you really want to live on campus, that sort of thing. I always tell students, get your application in as soon as possible. And then two, there is $100 application fee. So you would, they would pay that down at the business office. Now, if something happens and either you decide not to come here, you decide not to live on campus, anything like that, it's refundable. So you don't have to worry about being out of pocket of that money. But our housing, students that live on campus absolutely love it. We definitely try and gear towards not only our student population in general, but also students living on campus. So there's always something to do. But I tell students, if you want to come for a tour, if you reach out to me and you want to come for a tour and you want to see housing, you want to see what it's all about, just let me know. And we have a very safe campus. While I'm talking about housing, I usually get two questions, just in case you have this question from students. We have a police force on campus. They're here 24/7. So they're up here, and also we have somebody over by housing just in case, if anybody ever need anything. And then two, I've always had the question, well, if I'm a freshman, do I have to live on campus? Well, no, you don't. You don't have to live on campus. We just have that available to you. So I've had students that thought maybe you did, but you do not. We just, you can choose to live on campus or not.
Right. Maybe highly encouraged for freshmen to have that experience.
Yeah. I commuted. I enjoyed commuting. But when I transferred off, I enjoyed, living close to campus, that sort of thing. So just whatever's best for them.
Perfect. Now, also another exciting thing I feel like for students is figuring out their sort of academic plan. So what are some of the various academic paths that a student could take if they decide to come to MCC?
Okay, so we have university transfer, and I usually tell students, if you have no idea what you want to do, when you fill out that application form, your MC, put university transfer, that sort of thing, because especially when you're filling out the FAFSA and you're trying to get financial aid, you definitely want it to be looking towards, I don't know how to mute that. There we go. You're working towards a degree. And so I would definitely put something on your application and it's not a huge deal if students don't know what they want to do. If you decide to go into a career technical program and decide to change it later, it's not a huge deal. It's literally just an email. Okay. So we have university transfer that are for students that are here to take their basics. And when I say basics, like your English comps and your college algebra, that sort of thing, I always tell students your first 2 years are your first 2 years. So whether you take it off at a university, I always say with one of your 300 best friends in a classroom, or you take it here at MCC in a smaller classroom with 15, 20, that sort of thing, it's still the same type of classes. And then we also have career and technical. So we have over 40 career and technical programs. We have everything from nursing, cosmetology, down to down the hill to workforce, precision machining, welding, that sort of thing. So I always encourage students that if they think that they may be interested in some sort of a CTE program, come for a tour. Whether you think that you're interested in 3 of them, I've had somebody come here that was interested in 3 different programs, and by the time they left, they were like, okay, this one's for me. So they can do that. And then with me, so whenever I transferred off, I was a university transfer. After I had finished here at MCC, I was able to have an associate degree of arts before I transferred on to finish my bachelor's. So you can have that as well. You can take classes for credit and for non-credit. And so what I mean for non-credit classes is I took a scuba diving class one year. I came home from Mississippi State and we just offer some non-credit stuff. So sometimes especially through workforce, a baking classes, that sort of thing, swimming classes. So you can take credit and non-credit classes. So that's available to you as well.
Awesome. Well, I feel like that kind of leads me into my next question. You kind of talked about some unique classes that you have or non-credit classes, but are there any maybe new or unique programs that you would want for students and for families to kind of know about?
Okay, awesome. So, like I said, we have over 40 programs. But like some of our newer ones, like we had the utility lineman program, that has been a really hot program for us. We are planning for it to be a credited program upcoming for fall of next year. Hope it will be, but it's still being offered here. And
Right.
I believe last time I spoke to somebody who had like almost 100 people on the waiting list. So it's a very,
Wow.
very big program. We also just added the accounting technology program through the business office technology program. So we have that. And then MCC has just started doing if you get associate of applied science degree, you can actually, transfer and finish and get a bachelor of applied science through Mississippi State or that sort of thing. So you could transfer your credits to a university on from CTE, that sort of thing. But we definitely have advisors that can help students with that as well.
Absolutely. That's great.
Um,
Um,
I think that's pretty much the new things that we have going on. Yeah.
Awesome. Now into also, I feel like this is great for students to know, especially students who are looking to be involved
Uh-huh.
while they're on campus. What kind of maybe campus life activities or organizations do y'all offer for students?
So we have a ton of different organizations and activities that students can be part of. I always tell students that you can be as involved or as not as involved as you want to be. I was pretty involved as a student, and it was the best decision I ever made because you get to meet new people and that sort of thing. So we have, of course, we have athletics. We have various athletic teams on campus. We have BSU, which is very popular on campus here. We have like FCA, PTK, which PTK is you have to be invited. You have to have a 3.5 to get into that after your first semester and keep a 3.25. That is something I usually tell students to keep in mind, like really work hard and keep your grades up, because whenever I transferred off to Mississippi State, I received an $8,000 scholarship with that. So we have PTK on campus. So we have SGA, which is Student Government Association. So students can be involved with that. We also have Intramural Sports. That we had like dodgeball and different things of that nature. Now I know with COVID it kind of stopped for a little bit, but I know we're trying to get it geared back up. And then we have Ivy League recruiting. So that is a group of students that I work very closely with in recruiting. And so right now we have 30 Ivy League recruiters. And so what they do is I tell them they are the face of MCC. So they help go out to the schools and meet students and tell them about MCC and that sort of thing. There's a scholarship associated with that. So they could try and apply to do that. Some things are open to everybody, like the SGA, that sort of thing. Other things you may have to be invited to, like PTK. But we also have like different programs. We have different organizations within, like we may have like a nursing organization, that sort of thing. We also have, I'm trying to think, like concert choir, like for students that won't want to do that. We also have like Dimensions, that is with a scholarship with that band, a scholarship. So we have gospel choir. So we have that. We have men of excellence, people loving color. We have various types of different organizations on campus. And so students can really find where they want to be involved. They can be involved in, pretty much everything that we have, unless it's something that you have to have a certain GPA or be invited. But we encourage students to be as involved as they want to be.
Absolutely. Love that. And, getting close to kind of, closing out, but I just want to ask, are there any other things that you feel like would be beneficial for high school students or parents to hear, or any other like new or exciting things that are happening or coming to campus that you feel like you should share or want
Sure.
students to know?
So a couple things. So we are renovating a existing building on campus. We're about to start doing that pretty soon. So we are looking into having a diesel and automotive facility over there, and then
Awesome.
eventually further down the road, like an aviation and mechanic area program with that. Like I said, that's kind of down the road, but they are looking. We're about to start renovating an existing building for that. And then also we have I didn't know about this, but Esports. So that is a group that is open for students if they want to be a part of gaming.
Yeah.
I know a lot of students that they are really passionate about that, and
Mhm.
so we, of course, listen to students. We now have esports on campus, and so we have that available too. So those are, and then I don't know if it's not brand new, but we have our sim lab. I just hosted a group earlier today and showed them our nursing sim lab. We have, I feel like, one of the best sim labs for nursing healthcare students. So our mannequins can talk to the student. We have some that actually can give birth, tell them what is wrong with them, that sort of thing.
Wow.
So it's really something to see. And so, if for any high school counselors or anything like that, please, reach out to me. I would love to host anybody on campus, show you what we have to offer. We can work out an agenda, feed you lunch or breakfast or that sort of thing, and get you so your students can see campus. It's funny. When students come here, they don't realize how big of a campus NCC is. I feel like we just keep spreading, which is a good thing. And then two, what I had mentioned before about, just having a current high school transcript on file. I know that really helps the counselors of knowing they have a little bit more time to send in the final high school transcript to them. But we would love for anybody that's interested, just come see us, and we'd love to host anybody, and just they can just get in contact with me, and we'll set up a date and time. And that I think it's beneficial for students to be able to see stuff. You can learn about everything that you can in a classroom, but until you get down and you see, our precision machining program that we have, which is with the Haas. I was telling a student the other day, we have 1 in 38 in the world with our Haas precision machining program. So it's a pretty big deal. So it's great for students to be able to see it. So I invite students, counselors, anybody, if they would like to come see us, come see us. And then I don't know if you had mentioned, we have different things that are available to students if they need help. So I don't know if you would like me to hit on that or not.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Would love that.
so we have different resources for students. So we have everything from like Career Center, which I was one of those students. You wouldn't think about it, but I actually took advantage of that. I was one of those students that had no idea what I wanted to do when I grew up. So we actually have tests that actually help students like figure out where you would be best suited. And I'll tell you, my tests, I ended up going into every one of those things, and I'm now in education, which was one of my results. So we have that. We also offer mental health services for students. I believe they get like 2 free services through Alliance Health here. So that is available to students. We also have tutoring services. So we have our Student Success Lab. That is actually open for students. They stay open till 6 o'clock at night, Monday through Thursday. I think it's 8 to 12 on Friday, which students, we don't have classes on Fridays. So that's a big perk, I guess, for being a student here. And so free tutoring. The only thing they ask is if you could kind of give them a heads up so they can make sure, like if you need somebody for physics, or if you need somebody for a certain math or English, or look at your paper, that they have somebody there for you. So we have tutoring services. We also have Eagle College Knowledge on our website. So it kind of lets you know about different things that we have, different stuff that is available to you. And then also, I always tell students that are that come to campus either for a tour or asking about MCC, that we have a disability support services coordinator. So like in high school, they can come to you and say, look, Mandy, you know, we feel like you have this, you need help with this, but they can't do that in college. So you have to self-identify. So we have a disability support services coordinator, whether you have test anxiety, ADHD, you're blind, you need somebody to read your test to you, or if you need certain hearing help or that sort of thing, we have that available for students. And so what they just ask that you kind of give them like a week, because there's paperwork that has to be done, and especially with your doctor, that sort of thing, so they can make sure all services are set up for you as a student. And then one of the two more things is with our advisors. So we have advisors. So we have, a university transfer advisor. We now have like a pre-health advisor, a pre-nursing advisor. So if a student is wanting to go into a certain healthcare program or going into nursing, which is a really big program here, that they have somebody specific say, helping them of, hey, I want to go into this program. What do I need to do? And they can make sure that you are taking the right prereq courses to get into that program. And then also MCC, our new QEP with our quality enhancement plan that we have is mentoring, connecting, and completing. So we are really working towards, mentoring students, letting them know what all is available to them, make sure that they, get the help that they need, connecting with them, having, just being there to talk, if they need to talk about something or need help, and then so they can go on, complete MCC and succeed. So that is something really big that we are working on now for, not that we weren't, but we are more focused on that with students. And so if we can be of any help to students, we are here.
I love that. And I also always encourage students to visit the campuses that they're interested in. So I hope that our students and parents and counselors that listen hear that, because I know that that's a large piece of how students can really connect.
Right. And so I tell students that they can go to our main MCC webpage. You scroll down halfway, it says like campus tours. And so we have that they can actually plan the date and time that is available to them. And I tell students as well, like if you need a school excuse, like I'll give you a school excuse. And then one more quick thing that I forgot to touch on, but we are trying to do more stuff on campus. So not only just for commuter, but housing students as well. So like, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, we had Jaws night in the pool a couple weeks ago. We had fight night, midnight pancake breakfast that tons of students showed up for. So we are constantly trying to have new and innovative things going on campus for our students, because it makes school a lot more fun. You get to meet people, that sort of thing. So if anybody would like to come visit campus and find out what we're all about, just hope they can reach out to me or go to MCC's main webpage and schedule a tour or come see me. But if there's anybody has any questions, please let them know. I'm always here.
Great. Well, Mandy, I thank you so much for being here to share just on behalf of Meridian Community College. And I know this is going to be great information for our students.
Awesome. And if you ever have anything else like this or another school needs any information, please reach out to me. I'd love to help any way I can.